Hello folks and welcome to this video, and here I'm going to be talking about the news which is breaking from Formula 1 that Haas have sacked Nikita Mazepin. They released a statement this morning, actually in the last hour. I jumped out to bed so I could make this, saying Haas F1 team has elected to terminate with immediate effect the title partnership of Royal and the driver contract of Nikita Mazepin. As with the rest of the Formula 1 community, the team is shocked and saddened by the invasion of Ukraine and wishes for a swift and peaceful end to the conflict. And I want to direct you back to a video I made around this time last week, where I was talking about the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and I said one of the ramifications will be, because around the world you're seeing sanctions against powerful individuals of Russian background, especially if they've got closeness to the regime in the Russian state, such as Vladimir Putin, that one of the knock-on ramifications could be that Nikita Mazepin loses his drive. I think I speak for all of us when I also hope that we see a swift and peaceful end to the conflict. It's horrible to see the images of people being displaced. I think reports are saying right now it's over 1 million people. And also the deaths of, well, anybody. Soldiers, civilians. It's a horrible thing to see unfold anywhere in the world. Of course, at the same time, F1 has terminated its contract with the Russian Grand Prix, which means that Sochi's race won't happen this season, but also races at Agora Drive, which was supposed to start next season, won't be happening either. Now, I want to look away from this conflict now for the rest of the video, and I'm going to keep it quite brief. Because F1's reacted to this in this way, which shows that it's going for the angle that it did when it was talking about We Races 1, of being this kind of liberalising force. It's working with what, in this case, other governments around the world, in particular European governments, are doing. You have to remember F1 is American-owned, it's British-based, and it's governed by the French. And it's following what all three of those states are doing. But I think F1 could still do more. Like, this is Haas's decision. Haas's decision to get rid of Nikita Mazepin. And part of it was because even though we saw the statements coming out about F1's decision to allow competitors from Russia and Belarus, provided they said that, well, they said nothing of the conflict. They ran no imagery that could be considered Russian or Belarusian. We also saw further things from places like Motorsport UK, which said that no Russian license holders would compete in Motorsport UK events. So he was at the very least not going to be able to compete at the British Grand Prix. Now we can speculate over who's going to take over. Current rumours say one of the Fittipaldis, but everybody will also say Nico Hülkenberg because, well, it's F1. And I just wish the best for the Haas F1 team now. It's horrible that it's taken a situation like this to have them take action. But I don't think there are really going to be that many people saddened by the departure of Mazepin. And from what it sounds like, even though he's going to be the focus of one of the episodes of Drive to Survive that's coming out, next week? I don't think he's been portrayed in a particularly positive light either. What I want to see F1 do is go further. They've taken actions on the grounds of responding to government sanctions against Russia. And teams have as well. But they're dropping a lot of the bits of We Races 1 for this season, which... it's annoying because they're saying they're doing more actions, but they're not actually doing more actions. Talk about a multi-billion-dollar industry here. But what I'd like to see is more statements like these on other places where F1 competes. I mean, you could just see the ongoing attempts in Texas and in Florida, the two places where America has F1 races, which are homophobic, transphobic, and also against a woman's right to choose. And that's a big problem. F1 should be doing more about that if it wants to play this kind of more liberal attitude. It also shouldn't replace the Russian Grand Prix with a Grand Prix in Turkey, which is what the current rumours are. And it should reconsider its contracts in places like Saudi Arabia, who their ongoing conflict with Yemen very strongly mirrors what's currently going on in Ukraine. And they should reconsider their role in places like Qatar, who have, what, a 10-year deal? I know F1 probably won't take action, but if they're going to make statements like this, and if teams are going to make statements like this, I hope that in the future we're going to see more than just Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel doing actions about these things. Those are my thoughts, and, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you around.